Hello and welcome to Hardline Rugby, the channel focusing on rugby union in the Americas. My name is Stuart and we have just had the fourth weekend of MLR, so we are a quarter of the way through the season. So with Leap Day firmly behind us for another 4 years, let's begin. The Gold shocked the Legion in the first half before the leaders of the Western Conference were able to see out the victory. NOLA scored all of their tries in the first half as Robbie Coleman scored on the stroke of half-time for NOLA to lead San Diego 21-12. However, NOLA's inability to score points in the second half led to their downfall as the boot of Joe Peterson chipped away at the Gold's lead until the Legion were back in front. Despite pressure in the final phases, NOLA were unable to regain the lead as the Legion continued their unbeaten run. The inaugural Cuisine Solutions Cup was won by DC, though, for a moment, it appeared that Austin were on the verge of grasping victory from the jaws of defeat. The ever-excellent work of Jason Robertson kept pushing Old Glory further into the lead before they conceded a penalty try to the Gilgronis, keeping the scores 23-7 at the break. Austin battled hard in the second half, eager to claim the cup and their first win of the season. With only 4 points adrift, a final try for Old Glory in the 78th minute put Austin beyond the points needed to stage a comeback. A valiant effort by Austin, but a victory for DC. Colorado won their first game of the 2020 season, holding off a lackluster Utah in a game that was ultimately decided in the first half. The Raptors not only scored first, but prevented the Warriors from scoring any points in the first half, as they went in with an 8-0 lead at half-time. With both teams scoring 2 converted tries each in the second half, the inability for Utah to gain a foothold in the first half left them out of time to stage a comeback, as the Raptors rejoiced to improve their position in the Western Conference. Seattle also returned to the winning dominance of last season as they ran roughhouse over New England. While the Free Jacks started off with the early score, 3 converted Seawolves tries meant that the second half would begin with a 21-19 lead to the Seawolves. From there, Seattle ran ahead and never looked back. The boot of Ben Seamer meant that New England were unable to recover, though they did achieve the try bonus point, while Nakai Penny's efforts ensured that the Seawolves would leave the game with the try bonus point and the victory. For the first time this season, the Arrows started the second half on the back foot, but were able to see out the victory in Atlanta. Though Toronto were able to get the early score, Atlanta were able to get the lead just before the break, as the home team took the advantage before halftime, leading 11-7. Then, in the second half, Arrow's fearsome scrum power re-emerged, as they were able to recuperate the lead, even with a try being scored to Atlanta to keep them in the game. With the final try and the bonus point secured by Toronto at the death, it will be another frustrating home performance for the Rattlesnakes. The final contest of the weekend was a decisive and ruthless back and forth, ending with the victory going to New York. The Roosters led for the entirety of the first half, their only blemish being a Sabercats penalty, as they commanded a 21-3 lead. As the second half began, Sam Windsor was able to drag his team back into the game, scoring penalties and tries to bring the difference between the teams down to 1 point. However, a final intercept followed by a try ensured that the Roosters would be the team that left Houston with the victory. Now we look ahead to round 5 and predict which teams will emerge victorious. As the first Friday night game of the season is about to commence, Colorado were the first team to nil Toronto when they came to Infinity Park last season. However, this season, Toronto are currently one of the informed teams. My pick is Toronto. NOLA will be frustrated to have lost this past weekend while New England were firmly hammered, with home advantage being behind them. My choice for this game will be the Gold. The Texas Derby begins at Aviva Stadium after both teams suffered a disappointing loss last weekend. However, Houston do have a strong home record, and if Austin aren't galvanized, this looks to be a victory for the Sabercats. The Seawolves have returned to winning ways, while the Warriors appear to be running out of steam towards the end of their games. Unless Utah can see out the full 80, it looks like Seattle will be able to take the win at home. Atlanta will be very frustrated with the errors they have made in the past 2 games, while the momentum appears to be rolling with Old Glory. With that in mind, my choice is DC. The last game of the weekend is a repeat of the other semi-final of 2019. Although the Roosters won at Torero Stadium in the regular season last year, the Legion won the semi-final and continue to hold home advantage. My decision goes to San Diego. And those are my predictions for this coming weekend. What are your predictions? Well, leave them in the comments down below. I'll make sure to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to stay up to date on all the videos for Hardline Rugby. As always, my name is Stuart, and thanks for watching.